you want. Maybe just give this time for yourself. A lot of new energies, a lot of inspiration I feel in this room. Moving parts and just honouring yourself first before you can honour anybody else. I invite you just to take a few deep breaths now as well. That's right, and on the out breath we're just going to release all the stress. Closed now, I invite you to put your hands over your face and open your eyes with your hands over your face, looking into the darkness, and now slowly releasing the hands down the face, opening the space in between your fingers, coming back into the room, back into the room with your fellow beings. Now looking around at each other, honouring each other. And all these beautiful people in the room that are sharing the room with you. How lovely. This is what
yes, my name is Chay Godfree, and I am one of the founders of a movement called Crops Not Shops. And Crops Not Shops for me is about really getting back to building solid, localised community support networks that host a number of skills from our skill sharing, our community knowledge, and also really getting our work directly back into the nature and starting growing our own food for me. 5 steps to freedom is what Crops Not Shops is about. Free food, free energy, free medicine, free education, and free housing. We're just at the first stage. Free food. Yeah? It isn't like so free because we're going to be free and fair food sharing network now, because we're still in a money system, so that's how it goes at the moment. But we're working towards bartering, we're working towards sharing, we're working towards being real sustainable communities. Because like what Phil said the other day was really moving to me. He said, like, how can we really go forward with this kind of work now? We can gather and we can sing and we can dance, but we go back out into the world and we're alone again. So how can we work together in building this really resilient, localised community network? So for me it was about so I've been growing food for about 6 or 7 years now, had my allotments and helping people to grow their own food in wildlife gardens and taking over communal spaces, but it was very minor really. And then this pandemic hit, the crisis, the shift happened, and it was just like a vision that came downloaded to me. Okay, how can I help this world and what can I do to share my skills with the people? And it was really about just reaching out and asking people to use their gardens for growing food. And so a trial and tested model was what we went into people's gardens and we just planted loads of different food. They become unmanageable and intimidating for people because it's like quite hard to, if you're a beginner, to manage crops. So over the time we've managed to build a model that is working. It's about reaching out to all of the people that want to grow their own food and say to people, okay, how are we going to do this? We're going to just plant 1 or 2 crops in each garden. In a street of 10 gardens, people are growing 20 or 30 different crops to share. So that's one of the ways we can build our trust, because what will happen with this is that people have to share their excess crops with other people that are growing also different crops in their gardens. So they'll bring, over the harvest periods, some of the crops that they've grown, excess crops, take what they need for their family and bring the excess crops to hubs like this. Now that's the second part of crops. In the gardens is number 1, taking over communal spaces is number 2, setting up these massive food community hubs is number 3. Now that's what we've been doing today. We've got 9 hubs now, Crops Not Shops, that are actually functioning with this same model. So the model for these hubs is food forest, polytunnels, permaculture gardens, market gardens, and a volunteer rotation network that will empower everyone to come, learn what we need to do in order to take this knowledge back into people's gardens. Now we're really, that's all right. Yeah, we're really asking, this is what we need now. We've got like 4,000 gardens signed up, like to this community network already, but we can't manage it. We just can't do it. We don't have enough volunteers. We need people, we need you guys to really connect with us, and we can share the skills that we have. We can guide you into like this kind of work, and we need to get out into these gardens and set this model up with us. Because this is the way we're going to have to go, guys. There's no other choice for me now. But this is one of the only solutions I can find that will help us bring this New Earth consciousness forward. You know, it's really about this New Earth consciousness, you know, this community vibe and food. There's something really sacred about planting food that teaches us so much about ourselves. I beg, please plant something in the ground. You'll learn so much about yourself, so much nurturing, how much space we need from each other. This is what the plants show us. This is what the nature is actually trying to tell us, trying to heal us back towards ourselves and back towards this connection to the earth. It's a very emotional lesson actually to watch a plant grow and maybe die because it's been over competing with other plants. And this is what happens with people as well. You know, we don't give each other enough space, enough light, enough nurturing, enough time. You know, because nature's always teaching us about time as well. If we plant things out too early, they're gonna fail. If we go too late, they're gonna get leggy and they're not gonna come crops. And this is what we need to be really remembering about ourselves now. Really getting back to the earth. Like we say, we can gather in these wonderful communities, but direct action is needed. You know, so I beg, please come to me. Becky's here, Ellie's here, Chen's here. There's loads of Crops Not Shops people here. We can't just do this on our own. We've got so many gardens and so many communal spaces all over the country. Now I'm sure that lots of people here have travelled from all over the country, you know. It's not a lot of work, just 2 or 3 days a week, and there'll be so much reward from it, I promise you. So yeah, that's really what I just wanted to say to you all today, to keep it really simple. We've got a wonderful website set up from Becky here. She's like amazing.
Yes, Becky.
There's a horsey culture there. She set up a website within like 2 weeks, you know. It's like we can actually really, get together and share our skills now. If anyone has land, we're really looking for like big plots of land to implement this model on, you know. That's what we want. We want land. We've got the gardens, we need volunteers. Yeah, we want the land and the spaces now as well. We propagate all the seeds, we're giving you to take away, to plant in your gardens, and all we ask is that you share the excess with everyone else doing the same thing. It's a really simple model. It's really doable, 2 or 3 crops, it's manageable, it's cheap, we don't need any resources. We're using whatever's in the air and in the soil for this growth now, and it will heal us, it really will heal us. You know, the Mother Earth is really trying to rise within everybody now, and it's really a feminine energy. It's like, it's beautiful actually, and I'm so thankful for this time and this vision that's been gifted to her, through this need for it, and this need to get back to nature. Today was absolutely beautiful. Who agrees? It was just wonderful. The feeling of we just plant one plant each, but in community, doing it together, it's a vibration that really connects to our hearts and connects us to each other, Yeah, it's really lovely. I love you all, and I really thank you. Has anyone got any questions you'd like to say, anything right now before I hand you over to Hamish? We're going to be linking together as well. Talk to me. Shout out.
Thank you. We love you.
Yeah, thank you so much,
How are you and Hamish going to be linking together?
Well, we're yet to talk about that, but I'll hand you over to what he does, and then we're going to fire off each other a little bit afterwards as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shay.
Bless you.
Oh, bless. Yeah, my connection with Shay, we just met today actually, the first time, face to face. But we have been speaking on Messenger and helping each other out and sharing ideas, and bless, I feel such a strong connection to your brother, honestly, and yeah, we're going to do something great together. So first of all, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my experiences. So I started gardening when I was 13 years old. I used to do the local community's gardens. It was traditional garden, but it was growing food as well, so I had a strong basis in that. I did that probably for about 6 years. I worked on farms for 2 years, so cattle farms, sheep farms, fruit picking farms, veg. After that I went into a bit hard landscaping, and then I found permaculture, which was a lifesaver for me. And it really gave me hope about the future. And in the same way, it kind of really gave me, pain in my heart, basically, because I would see what we're doing to the land, and for the first time I could really understand what's going on. And yeah, so for a long time I felt like I was alone, and now this new kind of shift, this consciousness of like everybody coming together. I mean, you're all super interested, you're all here, which is, you know, for me it's so nice to see that, and it really warms my heart. More recently, I've opened up a company, you could say, called Permaculture Inspiration Gathering. Now, this is about 3 things. So, teaching people about permaculture, inspiring people to take regenerative action in all aspects of their lives, and connecting the human family. And how beautiful it is to do this through permaculture, something so sacred and regenerative for the earth. For anybody that doesn't know what permaculture is, it's basically a type of growing, type of gardening that is working with the land instead of against it. It's basically like a change of thought pattern from how we're growing our food right now. So what we're doing right now is we're mining to grow our food, and it's that change of mindset from mining to grow our food to actually growing to grow our food, okay? Or rejuvenating to grow our food. It's not sustainable, it's actually regenerative, and then we can sustain. There's a lot of talk about sustainability these days. There's no point in sustaining something that is degenerative. Who agrees with me? Right? So first we need to rejuvenate, and then we can sustain, right, at that productive stage. What else do I want to say? Yeah, so I've been running gatherings. They've been bi-weekly. I also run permaculture courses as well. There is, if you want to learn more about this, there is a group on Facebook called Permaculture Inspiration Gathering, P.I.G in short, and you'll find it. I want to speak about the land for a second that we're on. So where we just were planting some trees, that's going to be a forest garden. So at the moment it's an orchard basically, at the start of a forest garden. So we've got stuff like apples and pears, and it's the beginning of We've also got a veggie patch out there as well. The pH is around like 6.5, and it's a loam, which is amazing. So there's 3 types of soils. There's clay, sand and silt, and the loam is a mixture of them, and it's perfect. It's really good soil to grow in, so we're so blessed and so lucky. What we've recently done is we've taken the sleepers out, which had creosote on them, which were a highly toxic substance, and they've been grown in that. You know, I don't know how they've lived, but they have. So we've just taken them out, and we're now looking to rejuvenate that soil by growing our own food. So that's a more recent project. Yeah, I think that's all I want to talk about. Does anybody have any questions on what I've been doing or anything? I've probably missed a few things.
You talk about how messed up the land is already. Like how bad is it in your estimation? You said like you got to a point where you fully understood how bad is it?
I think
I mean,
60 years.
There's been heaps of estimations of like we've got 60 years of topsoil left, isn't it, Becky?
Yeah, I think it's 60 years left
Of, like,
of the way
topsoil.
for farming the way we're farming.
Yeah, I mean, basically we're eroding the land. We're taking all the nutrients of the land and not putting it back in. The only way we seem to try and do this is through chemical fertilizers, which clearly doesn't work. Also killing the land and creating basically systems where they're carbon intensive. Not only are we extracting that from the soil, but we're also the way we travel, distribute. Basically, our systems are not regenerative. They're just not right. So we need to create new systems, which is what permaculture is about. So I guess it's different for each piece of land. and to know each piece of land, you would have to do soil tests and understand it. But it's not impossible to do, and we're actually doing it right now. So that's the thing I think to focus your mind on, is the stuff that we're actually doing right now. Yes, it's important to understand the reality of the situation, because that's what's going to drive us. That's our drive, that's our why. If we were already doing permaculture, there'd be no reason to do it right. If it was already rejuvenated, there'd be no reason to, be like, oh, come on guys, we need to do this. So we're obviously here for a reason. We've got people like me and Chay who are like, there's a bit of an issue we've got here. It needs looking at. But yeah, it's possible to rejuvenate that, and that's why I feel so strongly about permaculture. That's why I do my monthly gatherings, my courses, and why I want to get more involved with Chay and what he's doing as well. But yeah, it's beautiful to see these different angles which we're coming in at, about teaching people about permaculture, about taking action. And it's not about one person, it's about coming together like the mycelium network we are, right? Connecting all the different minds, all the individuals, and all playing our role. Even to the people that do the marketing for P.I.G, for Chay, and even that stuff is necessary. We need that. We need them skills. Any more questions?
Yeah, I'll just touch a little bit. Sorry.
So you're talking about the communities like a street or community. What do you offer that community? I know you said you go and see the land and see what's required from the land, but for the people that are going to be involved, what sort of thing is offered? Because I know before I've looked at permaculture policies and budget hasn't allowed me to go forward, and I've kind of picked my information or got involved in communities that are doing that sort of work.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, as organisations, what do you?
I really appreciate you bringing that up, and that's why I created the gatherings, which are monthly gatherings, and they're a low-cost way to learn about permaculture and connect with like-minded people in your community. So it's I think it's like £5.80, because I incur an Eventbrite charge of 80p, and £5. I mean, at the moment it doesn't cover the costs for what I do, but at least it does something. The permaculture courses are a way for me to make money so I can survive. And the last one I did was at £120. So a 2-day course, and you get 6 meals included, and you learn about permaculture and all the fun things. I mean, we've had heaps of reviews on that, so if you want to look at that, then feel free. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So it's good to just sort of because as you say, there's I've got a connection to Fraser's and they do permaculture, but it's just without my reach. So
yeah, and
how would I get to know a bit more?
Exactly.
Practically, rather than just trying to.
This is what I want to explore as well, and potentially Chay can help me with this. For me in my life right now, I need money, and I have to honour my time, and and so, but I really want to get something like this started where we're doing more community projects. So it's not like I'm here to make heaps of money or anything, but I really am here for good intentions, and I will try. I'll always answer questions with an honest heart and an open heart. So, I mean, if you do have any more questions or you want to ask about anything, feel free to do so. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I really appreciate that.
Could I answer that as well? Sure. In terms of what we'd offer down our street. So we're offering our time, not in an exchange basis for you sharing the crops with everyone else. Yeah, that's what we're offering. That's what we're really dedicated on. Like, yes, these permaculture courses are necessary for individual learning, for people to take that into their life, for this implementation of self-growth, permaculture, and this kind of regenerative agriculture, like I say, really does teach us about ourselves. But building the community further, we will come, do the work with you, empower you to do it yourself, and then the sharing comes from the crops that you've grown and the community that's been built in that area. That's what the offering is for me. That's like, I feel, a fair exchange, and actually what's really needed and necessary for this time. Because what I also feel is that this monetary system is kind of on its way out, in a way that we're going to transact. Like, we're not going to transact in this way, you give me this money and I'll do this for you for much longer, I feel. So it's about really building this like community skill share network as well. Swaps not shops is also something we're building as well. So you're going to swap skills with each other. We're going to swap materials with each other in a necessary way that it's not valued on £5,000, it's what you need. If I need a car and I don't have one, you're a plumber, then you don't need your car, come and do some work and exchange with it valued at that, what the time is and the skills are about. So that's what the offering is really about for crops. I just want to touch a little bit about your question as well. The regenerative land management actually can be sorted out within a short period of time. If we just leave it to nature to sort it out itself. Yes, if there's like lots of toxicity in the soil, it's going to take a little bit longer. Like some of the gardens really do struggle because they're like 6 inches of soil and then they've been based with concrete and like all a bit of house built in. So yeah, it's like different for different bits of land. But if we section it off and actually let nature do its thing as well, everything is in the air and the soil anyway, and nature will literally take care of it for itself. We just need to leave it alone. Leave it alone for a bit and let it do its thing, That's what I feel is happening with much of this regenerative agriculture. It's like, we'll use this plot, and this is like an ancient Amazonian technique. They used to just use 20 acres, when it's done, move on to the next 20, and just leave it to grow itself backwards. And that's why we're coming into this new time of like, this way of growing, and it is like, it's happening. We're here today for this reason. All of us want something more, deeper connection to each other and nature, and this is the perfect platform for us to do that. Talk to each other, share numbers, come and talk to us. Let's get together and really do this as one people, So yeah, it's a really beautiful time, and thank you, and thanks everyone. So today, we've actually raised enough money from the event to put a polytunnel here.
Yay!
Yes! So no one's getting paid for it today, we're all doing this work, like Phil donated the trees, or Paz donated the trees for us to put in the ground. We've actually made enough money, so we're going to celebrate life and watch the food grow. So what we're going to do now is set up these volunteer days over the next couple of months. We've already got loads of volunteer days on our website as well, for all areas of the country. We're going to talk, Hamish, me, Phil, and others here about what volunteer days are going to run here, probably from the end of March, once this project is up and running properly. But it'd be so nice, it's in a few weeks. We already know what polytunnel we're going to go for. So just come and help be a part of it. It's about that.
Yeah, and I think I'm going back to how we could work together in the future. So I see my role as connecting, as basically creating hubs. The idea of the vision for the PIG meetings is to create hubs all around the UK. That's what I want, and I think Chay has a lot of sites in the UK. I mean, how many sites do you have?
Well, we've got 9 with lots
About
being
9.
offered to us. We just can't manage them all like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so Chay's got 9 sites, and my idea, or our idea, could be to set up these meetings, these monthly meetings, to connect the communities, all the different communities, the people, teach them about permaculture, inspire them to create regenerative action, and just really connect everybody. So it's super inspirational, it's super motivating, and in these times which we have, these things flourish, don't they? I mean, it's always in the hard times where we've got this this edginess, or things that are not working. Our systems are just clearly not working, and in these times of desperate needs comes these amazing ideas and these people connecting together, and that's what it's all about. And now is the moment to do it. Now I just feel that even in my life, I mean, we were just speaking about it, how we get up in the morning and we just know what to do. Like, we know why we're here, we know what the reason is, and we're just doing it. So yeah, I encourage you all to get involved in any way possible as well, and any ideas that you have as well, I'm totally open to that. So yeah, thank you so much.
Hey.
Yes, give thanks. I think we've touched on everything we need to speak about. Just before we leave, I'd just like to close out with a nice prayer again, so please join me. You know, Hamish opened up the space nice. We love to bring this kind of energy in. It's really powerful. Yes, in this time, we just give thanks once more for each other, for this wonderful connection to life and to love and to the Mother Earth. For our friends and our relatives, old and new, to our ancestors, we give thanks for the sacrifices and the knowledge passed through. We know that we're here to break all the chains of old and to come into this new time. We ask for guidance and protection. We ask for love and strength and honour and truth to be our foremost way forward. Give thanks for the children. May they come into this new world with knowing and inner guidance. Give thanks for today, Love Jam, this beautiful space. Give thanks for you. Give thanks for myself. Give thanks to the Almighty Creator. One love, my people. Go well. I love you. Bless. Thank you. Yes, sir. Give thanks. Yes, sir. So yeah, I don't know what's coming up next. I think there's some chanting, I think.